Let's see, we live. What's up, y'all? Tap in with me with the network. What is going on? Shout out to Tiger Garcia. What is going on? Brody Blair. What it do? What it do? Cowboys Nation on the YouTube side. What it do? We back up on top of the rooftop. You already know we're in the man cave. What is going on? Shout out to y'all. Make sure y'all smash that like button. What is good? What is good? Let me see if everybody. Let me make sure we tapped in on this side. Yeah, it's still private. Let me see. All right, let's see. All right, we good now. He said, "What's up, Cowboys for life? What's going on? This is my first time seeing you. Hey, look, man, I'm so excited about what's going on with this team, man. Like you're not going to win every game, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's a blessing to be able to see this team in the position that they are that they're in right now, and the teams that we can play at home. We all feel good about playing at home, so we turn up. We definitely turn up. What is going on? Shout out to Alex. What's good? What's good on the TikTok side, Facebook side, YouTube side? What it do, man? You already know YouTube is my main platform. So make sure you guys tap in with me. You know what I'm saying? We don't go live too much, but we gotta tap in. I gotta say what's up to y'all. Let's see. He said, give it a rest. You will be disappointed again. Chill, man. Chill, man. Chill, man. We back in the biz. I said, let's go Cowboys. He said, you got that right, brother. I'm telling you, man, it's going to definitely be good. But, like, when you're seeing teams like Washington and playing against those type of teams, like, you're always going to get the team's best shot. We gotta understand that. Like, when you're playing any team, even if it's the division, the Arizona Cardinals, the Detroit Lions, it's the Dallas Cowboys. We are the most valuable team in sports. That's why I say I'm not big on, like, Dak Prescott winning the MVP, because you don't want to get caught up into that, guys. You know what I mean? Like, we have a bigger goal in mind. We got to go out there and win this championship. It's going to be big. Hey, shout out to Regina. What's up, Regina? What's going on? Hey, I had to come in here real quick. It's always good to see you. It's always a blessing to see you. Yeah, man. It's football time. It's football time. That's why I say with the Dallas Cowboys, there are no excuses. We have so much talent. Like, the thing is, when you're looking at a team like the Dallas Cowboys, you're going to have holes in certain areas, but the better coaches can be able to fill in those holes. And it's not going to just be the athletes on the field to be able to get it done. You have to have the right coaching staff. The scheme got to be there. The offensive line got to be right. So we got the guys. We got enough talent on the team to be able to win a championship. But the big thing is coaching. The offense, defense, and special teams. And shout out to everybody in the Pro Bowl, too. He said, not winning the championship. Chill, man. We in there, though. That's the most important thing about us. One thing about our Dallas Cowboys, we always have a good record. We always compete. I would rather be a fan of a team that competes and gets close and try to find ways to be able to get better, to be able to take that next step. That's why I say with us, there are no excuses. But it's exciting, though. You know what I mean? And as far as the DMV, I think we're about to be getting some snow this weekend, too. So it's going to be one of those games. I don't know if it's going to be snowing during the game, but it's going to be some snow outside. All right, let's see. Shout out to Stephanie. What's going on? Shout out to you. Yeah, man. But, like, just thinking about the Pro Bowlers, let me see if I can put my pictures up, too, because I'm in a different little setting right now. Let me see. Hey, shout out to my guy, Brandon Anger, Brian Anger. Shout out to my guy, Brandon Aubrey, Deron Bland, CeeDee Lamb, Zach Martin, Micah Parsons, and Dak Prescott. It's amazing to be able to see this from these players, because these guys have been balling all year. Like, when you're thinking about a guy like Deron Bland, like what this guy has done for this team, and it's a lot of pressure when you're taking over that cornerback spot. You're going up against so much premier talent all throughout the year. And just to see what this guy has done, taking balls away, just being a leader on and off the field. We know that he's a very, very young player. But the thing is, when you have this type of energy from a guy, it's always fireworks when you see this from these type of players, because it's a lot of pressure, and it's a pressure position. Like, that's arguably one of the most hardest positions in all of football. So when you have a guy like Deron Bland going out there and just turning up game in and game out, we know he has that short-term memory because he has been beat before. But the thing is, can he be able to recover? And this guy has been doing that. So you definitely got to give him his flowers. Like, The thing is about a player like him, it's not always about the athleticism. I mean, if do you have that high IQ? Do you understand what these wide receivers are doing? So he's one of the guys that offenses they have to game plan for, because he's one of the guys that is a true ball hawk that's out there. So it's gonna definitely be huge. Definitely gonna be huge. But just seeing everybody else like Micah Parsons and the rest of the guys, I mean, you know what Micah Parsons does. The dude turns up. But my thing is with him, I want to see him be able to do this in the big games because he has the talent, he has the athletic ability. So it's gonna definitely be good to see how it all plays out as far as Micah Parsons and everybody else on the defense. So it's gonna be good. Definitely gonna be good. But when you're looking at guys like the kicker, like that guy is truly special, man. Truly, truly special. It's hard to be able to be so perfect like he has been throughout this whole year. But usually when you have players that has played other positions before and they just have a skill set being able to do it and a game is not too big for them, that's the kind of guy that you need on your team. All right, shout out to Reputation. What's going on? What is good? What is good? Shout out to you. Yeah, man. But the thing is, the running game is going to be huge, man. Like that's my deal. Like just thinking about the offensive line and making sure everybody's on the same page is going to be a big deal. And seeing guys like La'el Collins, shout out to him for coming on in. It's crazy because my thoughts on that, I want him to play either that guard position or any tackle position. It doesn't matter. My thing is, if he can be able to back up these guys, just be that one of the staples on that offensive line. So once we get into these games and things get going, it's definitely gonna be good. Definitely gonna be good. Let's see. Shout out to Regina. She said, "How do you think we adjust the run game?" I mean, the thing is with me, like it's not because I look at everything. So as far as Tony Pollard, I think Tony Pollard is doing a good job. But like everybody on the offensive line, just getting down to the second level, sealing the edges with the tight ends. It's a collection of things when it comes down to being able to run the ball, because if we can be able to run the ball, I mean, the whole playbook opens up. So I think that, if you can utilize guys like Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle, I think that these guys can be able to get some push on that offensive line. But when you're playing against the 49ers, when you're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, with our type of scheme and what we're trying to do in our offense, you have to be able to run the ball because it's going to keep the whole playbook open up. So it's going to be huge. Hey, shout out to Swain. What's good, Swain? Hey, Swain, I had to stop in here real quick, dog. I was making another video, man. So I said, man, let me just hit the live button real quick. What's good? I ain't seen you in a minute, Swain. Where you been at, dog? Where you been at? You know we've been missing you on the network, bro. We've definitely been missing you on the network. All right, let me see. It's crazy because my guy, it's low-key wild that Anger is definitely the best punter in the league. Like, you got to give him a big time shout out because he's one of the guys that's really, really consistent. And when you think about the special teams and the offense and the defense, but when we're thinking about special teams with Anger and our kicker, I mean, these are the two guys that's going to make you feel good about going into the playoffs, because you know that our kicker can be able to kick a 68-yard field goal. I mean, he's done it. He's a consistent guy. And usually when you have that, I mean, that can give you the advantage. All right. Hey, shout out to DC for Life, Texas. What's up, dog? What's good, bro? You said, what's good, JC, my brother from another. Hey, man, what's going on, man? What's going on? It's football time, playoff time. I was telling them, bro, that when you're playing against Washington, the DMV, we know, Swain, you from the DMV. Shout out to my man Darren, he from the DMV. Like, they get up to play us. So that's a game where we cannot sleep on these guys. Looking at their talent, I mean, you see guys like Sam Howell, and you got guys like Terry McLaurin, a lot of those guys. So we got to be ready to play. But it's definitely going to be good, though. I think it's going to be a snow game. It's going to be a snow game. All right, let me see. Let me go here real quick. Okay, yeah, I said Micah Parsons. Yeah, Zach Martin. The only thing that I feel was cringe is not bringing Tyler Smith to the Pro Bowl. He didn't get a Pro Bowl. I did about 5 or 6 all-22s, and the guy dominated. You know what I'm saying? Every single game. You know what I mean? But the thing is with him, he's still a young player. He has had a lot of penalties, but the thing is, like, what he's been doing on the field, the way he's been dominated in the run game and the pass game. I mean, I think that, if he can get right, I know he tore his plantar fascia. Usually with that type of injury, you want it to tear so it can be able to recover. But we're going to need him. We're going to need him big time. But bringing guys like La'el Collins in there, if he can be able to play that guard, because remember when he was playing with us, he didn't really want to play that guard position, but you do want him to be able to play either the guard or that tackle position. It's going to definitely be huge. It's going to definitely be huge. All right, let's see. Shout out to Swain. Shout out to Swain. He said, them holding calls are sus though. Yeah, I know they definitely are. And you talking about with Tyler Smith? Is wild with him. I mean, because his type of skill set, the way that he plays the game, he's already an aggressive player. So they're gonna do that. But the holding calls that they're not calling on Micah Parsons is really sus, bro. It's really sus. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, like, you don't want it to get to a point where you're seeing this when you're getting into these games. You don't want it to get down to penalties. You want to make sure that you stay ahead. Just play good ball, offense and defense, and just see what happens. You gotta definitely see what happens. Shout out to Daniel. What's going on, man? What is going on, bro? Shout out to you. All right, let's see. Shout out to my man Garrett. He said, "I wish the Cowboys would pick up a running back." I mean, I think that our running backs are good, bro. That's my opinion on it. I think that we're good at the running back position, but I mean, I hear where you're coming from. A lot of people are talking about bringing in Cooks and stuff. I mean, he is a good player. He wasn't really making that much noise with the Jets, and he still is fresh. But when you see Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle, I think they can do it, man. But the thing is, it's just the offensive line, the tight ends, and just getting down to the second level. Because a lot of times I saw on tape. I'm thinking about making a video of that because, I mean, I want you guys to be able to see this stuff in slow motion. Like, those guys are not getting to the second level. The edges are not getting sealed. Soon as the running back gets the ball, I mean, he's getting blown up. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little crazy watching that kind of film in a run game, because I know when you're going up against the 49ers, you don't want to make yourself predictable and playing that backyard type of football. You want to be able to keep everything wide open. You know, if you especially with our type of offense, you know, you want to keep everything wide open. All right, let's see. Shout out to Virginia. She said they need to get Turpin in the offense. Yeah, you can get Turpin in the offense too. I mean, if he can play that scat type of guy, I mean, that gadget type of back. I mean, he's one of the guys that he can play in the backfield. He can play the wide receiver position. So if you can have him and utilize him for a few plays throughout the game, that's big time. You know what I mean? And that can keep everything wide open. But the good thing is with Mike McCarthy and the way that he's been running this offense and the way that they've been doing things, they adjusted during the bye week. So after the bye week, you see guys like Brandon Cooks, you see guys like Jake Ferguson. Those guys have been stepping up. You know what I mean? So Brandon Cooks is one of the guys that really, really is going to be that X factor going up into these playoff games, because if they're going to be rolling coverage to guys like CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks is going to be that guy in the slot. I mean, he can play off the line of scrimmage. He can play outside at that number one. I mean, he's pretty much does everything. So just utilizing him, taking the top off the defense, all it's going to do is just force the defense to think that much more. And if you can be able to do that, I mean, everything just stay wide open. All right, let's see. Shout out to Herbert Webb. He said Pollard is not a 4-down back. He can't block. I mean, hey, look, based on the tape from what I've seen, I don't have a problem with his blocking, bro. I really want to do that. I was talking to my guy, Coach Marv. Shout out to Coach Marv, because me and Coach Marv was talking about his blocking. His blocking isn't bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just the reads and stuff like that, but mainly just the offensive line, just making sure that they just get onto their blocks, seal the edge, and just get down to the second level, because he's the type of guy where, I mean, if he sees it, he's going to hit it. So, I mean, we got to get that right early on, you know, especially when you're playing against these top teams. All right, shout out to my man Garrett. Okay, let's see. Let me see my man Swain. He said, I feel like our expectations of TP was too wild. I mean, the thing is with me, I had a lot of expectations. I had a lot of expectations for him, because usually whenever you're going into your final year of your contract, or if you signing a 1-year deal, sometimes, like, usually guys ball out, you know what I'm saying, that year where they're about to get paid. Like, if you look at the Saquon Barkleys, if you look at Josh Jacobs, those guys. But my thing is just, you know, coming off that injury that he came off of, sometimes it's hard to be able to recover, you know, off the break, because I think he broke his foot. I think it was it was playoff game. So that was in January. That was in January. And this guy was starting for us in August. July and August, he was already playing. So sometimes it takes time for you to be able to get your legs under you or whatever. But right now is the time where he should be turning up. But it's going to definitely be good to see how it all plays out. You know what I'm saying? But it's weird to me, though. It's weird to me that we did cut Martavis Bryant, though. What's y'all thoughts on Martavis Bryant, man? Because I thought that he was going to get the opportunity, but a lot of times when you have these wide receivers that's coming in, maybe he didn't get the playbook, or maybe he didn't really have the athletic ability that they thought that he had. And, you know, it's not always about the athletic ability, but if you don't understand what Mike McCarthy wants out of the offense, sometimes you just don't, you know, see the field. So, when you think about the wide receiver position and all the guys that we have, like Jalen Tolbert, he's going to have to step up. The Brandon Cooks of the world, he's going to have to step up as well, because we know that when you're playing against these teams, when we get down to the playoffs, they're going to try to double cover guys like CeeDee Lamb, and you know you got to keep things rolling. You know what I'm saying? Keep things open. But with guys like Martavis Bryant, I always liked him coming out. He was a very, very good player, but I mean sometimes things don't work out. You know what I mean? But the wide receiver play is going to be important, and when you're playing against the Washington Commanders, you want to be able to get that chemistry right within the whole offense. Jake Ferguson, he's one of the guys that I really, really appreciate having this year. I mean, just being able to block, catch the ball down the seams, set the tone. This is the kind of guy that you need for this type of offense. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to definitely be big. All right, let's see. Okay. She said, what about the players they elevated? Yeah, man. See, look, the thing is, like all of everybody that we're bringing on, they have to play some type of role. Any of these guys. That's why I said with me, Regina, I'm not going to gas any of these guys. Like, I want to make sure, like La'el Collins, he's one of the guys that I know he's a good player, but just going out there, you got to practice well. Once we get you going, if he could play that left guard position, if he could play that outside position, whatever. The linebackers, we just need help in all places. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be huge. But my thing is, if they get that opportunity, Regina, they got to make the most of it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Shout out to my man Herbert. He said tight end play is going to be crucial in the playoffs. Yeah, big time, bro. Big time. Even if with guys like Luke Schoonmaker, like you seeing guys like Luke Schoonmaker, and they're running that 12 personnel, trying to switch things up to 12 and 13 personnel, getting those guys on the field. That's a staple of Mike McCarthy's offense. So at this point now, it's a game of mismatches. You know what I'm saying? When you're seeing guys like Jake Ferguson, his size, what he can be able to do, the crossers, being able to be a good blocker, catching out of the seams, it's going to be huge. It's going to be big time. All right, let's see. Shout out to my man Sugar Daddy Williams. What's up, dog? What's going on, man? Listen, man, I got my drink, man. I know it's what's today? Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday. Yeah, man. It's all good though, but we sipping. All right, he said, I said Martavis wasn't it for Dallas for whatever reason. I mean, yeah, I mean, the thing is with me, it can be scheme. It can be, he's not understanding the offense properly. It can be a mix of things, but I always like the player, what he did, when he first got to the league and what he was doing in college. But I think when you think about guys like CeeDee Lamb, what this guy has been doing, let me see if I got my man on here. What this guy has been doing, I mean, this guy has been absolutely incredible. And like the thing is, like when you see that wide receiver position, he's been good his first few years of the league, but understanding the offense, what Mike McCarthy wants out of him, what Dak Prescott wants out of him, it just seems like this dude is taking off, and like the sky's the limit. Like I think that this dude with his skill set, his ceiling is so high, and he just got to keep it going, bro. He got to keep it going. All right, let's see. Shout out to Rentavious. What's going on? First time seeing you, bro. What's good? He said, do you think you're going to win? Oh, what, against the Commanders? Yeah, bro, we should beat this team, bro. We should beat this team. There's no excuses, you know what I'm saying? But they got to go out there and do it. You know what I mean? We got the guys to do it. When you're going up against a team like Washington that have a bad secondary. I think they rank 32nd in the league. The offense, the quarterback is shaky. I mean, you can be able to get after those guys, and we'll see. He said, if y'all lose against the Commanders, what's going to happen? I'm not trying to think about if we're gonna lose, bro. I ain't trying to think about that, bro. We got to win the game. You know what I'm saying? But if that does end up happening, I guess, I don't know. Eagles, they have to beat the Giants, to get that second seed. So they have to win. They have been cold, bro. They've been cold. All right, let's see. Let's see. Shout out to my man No Cap Podcast. He said Dalvin Cook was just cleared. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. I like Dalvin Cook, bro. I mean, they might look into it and see what happens with it. You know what I'm saying? I always liked him as a player. I think that his type of skill set, um, he still got some juice left. He still got some juice left in the tank. And I think with our type of team, he needs to be with a team that has a good offensive line like ours, a good quarterback. Having him playing with the Jets, I mean, you're pretty much the same thing with like Zeke, the way that they're utilizing Zeke and what has happened with the New England Patriots. I mean, they have to be on good teams at this point in their career. All right, let's see. Shout out to my man Craig. What's up, dog? He said Washington doesn't want to win. Hey, look, I was telling my boy that, bro. I don't look. I'm from the DMV, right? And a lot of my boys were telling me that they do not want to win this game. They are tanking for Caleb Williams. Now, I don't know where they will be at during the whole draft order, but my thing is, bro, I don't want, like, you don't want to have that type of mindset. You know what I'm saying? But you know how Washington is, bro. You know what I mean? They think that way, you know, but I think that, you know, when we're playing against the Washington Commanders, you still don't want to sleep on a team like that because it's the NFL. Like, any team can be had. When you think about when we played them last year, nobody thought we was going to lose that game, even though I don't think we were playing for anything. But still, you don't want to go into the league and, you know, catching the L and doing things like that. That's bad juju. You don't want that happening, man. You don't want that happening. All right, shout out to everybody we got in here. Make sure y'all smash that like button for me. I don't go live too much, man. So you already know, man, this algorithm is something else. So shout out to y'all. Oh, he said Cook signed with the Ravens. Is that true? Okay, you say okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Is a better fit? Okay. I'm catching y'all comments now. Let me see. You said must win game. Okay. You just said okay. I just saw a tweet. Dallas isn't interested. Yeah, they probably not. Because I mean they believe in guys like Rico and Tony Pollard, what those guys can be able to do. I mean, I like them guys as well. Like, I'm not the biggest. I'm not one of the biggest guys that's for a Dalvin Cook. Yes, he's a talented player. But I do think that we can get a lot out of the Rico Dowdles and Tony Pollards if you can be able to utilize those guys throughout the rest of the season. You know what I'm saying? It's just the offensive line, just making sure they got that chemistry right. That's going to be huge, guys. Like Terrence Steele, please pay attention to what's going on with Terrence Steele, because usually with him, he does have problems with speed rushers. So if you could, you know, if you have to chip on his side, or if you have to, you know, help him with a running back or something like that, it's going to be huge, because any game matters. You know what I'm saying? Any play matters when it comes down to these playoffs. All right, let's see. My man said we have to play well and destroy them. Yeah, you have to, bro. You have to. You want to be able to keep that momentum going into the playoffs, because we don't know who you might be playing. You know, you could be playing the Seattle Seahawks. That was one of those tough games. So any team that we play at this point now at home, there are no excuses. I don't care who we play in the first round. If this team is about that action, you go out there and win. Don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because we have the guys to be able to do it for sure. All right, let's see. Shout out to my man No Cap. He said, would you want to see more Jalen Tolbert or Turpin in the playoffs? I mean, you can utilize both of them for real, bro. I mean, because I've seen good plays from Jalen Tolbert and I've seen good plays from Turpin. As long as Turpin is holding the ball, Jalen Tolbert has made his plays as well, but I want to see more of Brandon Cooks, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's where we want to start off first when we get to the wide receiver position. If Michael Gallup is not stepping up, if he is not making plays, if he is not being able to gain separation, gaining separation is everything when it comes down to the playoffs. Those 50-50 balls, I mean, you taking a chance, but when you see guys like Brandon Cooks, let me see I don't even know if I got my guy on here. There you go. When you see guys like Brandon Cooks, the spatial awareness, just understanding what these guys are doing, a lot of coverage zones that they're trying to when you're playing against these defenses. I mean, he understands holes in these coverages, so it's great to be able to have a player like him, and you have to utilize this guy early. Usually, the better teams, when you have a guy that's speedy like that, that's running 4.2s and 4.3s, they'll try to stretch the field early on and let these defenses know we're not playing today. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have that type of energy. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. Shout out to my man Rentavious. He said, what's going to happen if the quarterback be mad if they lose? Hold on, what you talking about, man? What you talking about, man? What are you talking about here? All right, let's see. Shout out to my man Sugar Daddy. He said we weren't interested in Lyle Collins until they got interested. Don't eat the tweets. Yeah, man, it's good though, man. I'm just happy that we got that guy on board. Because they understand what we have to do on that offensive line, bro. Like that offensive line play is going to be critical, and I just hope that he has an open mind of being able to play guard. When he played with us, he didn't really want to play the guard position like that, but when you're not playing on the team, hey, you got to take what you can. You know what I'm saying? So play either there or the tackle position. Just be that one of the guys on that offensive line that can make a difference if you see some burn on the field. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be huge. Let's see. Shout out to my man Craig. He said they should have been interested. Yeah, man. I mean, I say the same thing too, bro. Like that offensive line matters. It's everything when you have that offensive line right when you're playing against these big time teams in the playoffs. It's gonna be huge. All right, let's see. Hey, shout out to my man Mike. What's good, Mike? What's going on, Mike? Hey, look, Mike. When we going back to Texas, dog? When we going back, man? We gotta go back. We had such a good time, dog. I'm telling you, bro. That was definitely one of my best times of my life, bro. Like every single day that we were down there, just seeing you guys, man. We definitely got to tap in. Definitely got to tap in. All right, let's see. Shout out to Leslie. He said, I just bought the same shirt you got on yesterday. I know, right? This joint fresh, bro. You got to rock this joint, man. 5-time champions. You already know. Like, the thing is with me, right? Like, when you going into these playoffs and you looking at guys like Dak Prescott has the skill set. All these people, man, they talk so much crap about our quarterback, but we know the type of player that he is. We know what this guy has done. But when the lights are bright, what are you going to do, Dak? That's the thing when it comes down to him. Are you going to be able to step up and get this done? We're going to see. We definitely going to see. But when you playing against these big time teams, any of these teams in the playoffs, it's going to be good. But I definitely feel good about going into the playoffs at home. If we can possibly play at 2 home games, if the 49ers end up doing something hot, we can possibly play 3 home games. So just being able to do that and gaining that momentum, you can be able to beat any of these guys you line up against. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see. Shout out to No Cap. He said, I'm so glad Big Hank is back. I just need him healthy for this stretch. Yeah, bro. Hey, listen, man, that run game is huge. I'm actually looking at the defense. I'm probably going to drop one more video, one more film session right before the games come on. The defense, just looking at everything that they did and how they were in the run game. They look so much better throughout this whole game. Guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, I mean, he is one of the guys that's the staple of this team on and off the field. You got to get these guys going. And just seeing this guy going up against the Detroit Lions, that's what we need out of this guy. Being able to seal the edge. He has some reps at defensive tackle, being able to get pressure on Jared Goff. So just seeing things like that and mixing it up, the NASCAR packages. I'm sure that, once we get to the playoffs and things get going, it's going to be a lot of packages, a lot of people haven't seen before. So I'm sure, we hide some stuff. We hide some stuff. All right, let's see. Let's see. Hey, shout out to my man, Coach Bob. What's up, Coach? What's up, Coach? What's going on, man? Hey, Coach, you want to tap in with me? Let me know if you want to tap in with me, man. I ain't seen you in a minute, dog. All right. Let's see. Hey, my man said, JC, you cooking, bro. Yeah, D-Law has been balling. Yeah, bro. Like, hey, look, man, D-Law has really been balling. But my thing is with me, like, I don't look at just the sacks. It's not always about the sacks when it comes down to that defensive end position. I mean, can you be able to stop the run? Can you be able to get these guys going on and off the field? And he's that type of leader. You want to continue to keep seeing that from him consistently. He has been doing it consistently. A lot of people don't really talk about a lot of the things that he do, but it's a lot of back end work that he's doing, being able to stop the run and seal an edge. Sometimes these plays, man, it's not always about, one guy just making a play on the ball. You don't want to play that hero ball. You might just have to seal the edge, you know what I mean? And allow other players to go out there and make plays, you know what I'm saying? So doing things like that, and just being that leader, he's going to be a big time staple, you know what I mean? All right, let's see. Hey, shout out to Bruce. What's up, Bruce? What's good, Bruce, man? Hey, Bruce, where you been at, dog? My man, Bruce, man, what's going on, dog? What's going on? He said one game at a time. First to slap Washington around. Yeah, one game at a time. Don't think ahead. Don't be going all on Twitter and stuff like that. These podcasts, they be killing me when it comes down to these podcasts. What's y'all thoughts on like NFL players having podcasts, though? I really want to know y'all thoughts on that because my thing is I just want these guys to be able to lock in and focus. Like, keep the podcast stuff to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the real true content creators, and y'all go out there and do y'all job and go out there and ball out. You know what I mean? So Micah Parsons locking in, making sure he's doing what he's supposed to do, and all the rest of the guys, man, because at this point now, when you get to the Decembers and stuff like that, and when you get to January, so many times we have been to the playoffs, we have not taken that next step. The time is now, man. There are no excuses for us, bro. None at all. Like, the talent is there. The talent is there. You know what I'm saying? And like I said earlier in this live stream, like, you're not going to always be perfect at every single position. You know what I'm saying? Every single position is not going to always be perfect. It's always about the coaches too. It's about the coaches too. You know what I'm saying? Being able to have that, you know, the proper scheme to be able to get these guys going. All right, let's see. Okay, let me send a link, dog. Let me send a link. Let me see, because I ain't in my studio, so they'll be able to hear you too from the from TikTok side too. So let me go ahead and send this link, man. Let me see. All right, let me see. Make sure that drink. All right. Let's see. Shout out to my man Swain. He said, "Ain't no way Philly showing face." Oh yeah, Philly. Hey, Philly off the nut, bro. Philly off the nut. Like, I think the last 5 games they're 1-4. It's just so funny that, you know, like, going on these live streams, especially with TikTok now. I don't see him in here, bro. I don't see him in here. They ain't really saying too much. All right, let's see. Let me get my man in here. What's up, man? What's going on?
What's going on, JC? How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's good, man? It's always good to have you on the show, man. Shout out to you. Last couple of days, it was like a couple of days ago, man, you had a great conversation on the phone.
Yeah, man. And it seemed like we played we played okay against the Detroit. We ramping up, man. But JC, I got something I want to get out there, and I want you to see if somebody out there, they can get this word out. Now this word is what's going to be very important to our defense this year, this playoff run. There's 3 guys that we have hung our hat on that has had a very kind of low-key season so far, and they have been ball magnets their whole career. They have been ball magnets when they came out of college and other teams, as well as with the Cowboys. And they're going to be the unsung heroes of this defense in this run. And those 3 guys are Donovan Wilson,
yep,
Jay Lou, yes, and Malik Hooker. They have been ball magnets, and they have been playmakers. Malik Hooker was a playmaker before he got injured. He's a first-round draft pick. He was a first-round draft pick with the Indianapolis Colts. He was a playmaker with the Indianapolis Colts.
I really liked him coming out too, bro. I really liked him coming out. Yeah, right. He was a piece.
He showed great, and he's been very quiet this year. Donovan Wilson. We remember Donovan Wilson as the Cowboys club always called Donovan Wilson the tone setter. And he got off to a rough start this offseason. He got hurt with that calf thing in training camp, and he didn't get back into the fold until, you know, kind of weak and getting himself back into the first part of the season. But last week he showed us who Donovan Wilson was. He on the run game, he can help us when we talk about our small linebackers, but that safety, that's a monster hitter like he can be. He can help out a great deal in our run game as well as in the pass game. But he has always been known as a ball magnet. He was a ball magnet in Texas A&M. First got his opportunities with the Cowboys, he was causing fumbles. He was getting interceptions. And when he got in the year last year, he was a very important piece to this defense.
See, the good thing, one thing that I like about Donovan Wilson, like, he's one of the guys that really set the tone early on, Coach Marv. Like, you know, playing that position, usually when you're playing that strong safety position, I mean, you got some linebacker in you, and he's one of the guys that really stick his nose in there, regardless if it's cold outside, to be able to set that tone. Like, he's one of the players that, like, when you're going into these playoff games, you feel real good about and seeing the defense, if they can be able to utilize him right and just have this guy roaming sideline to sideline, reading and diagnosing plays, I think that he can be one of those guys that can really spark this offense early on.
Yeah, he could be. And listen, we watched that game against Detroit on that when they was in the goal line situation. When he took on that offensive guard that was trying to block him and stood the guard up and got rid of him and made the tackle on the sideline.
Yeah.
Donovan Wilson, I've been looking for Donovan Wilson to get back to Donovan Wilson of last year. And it seems like he's getting that mojo back. That interception he made. Jay Lewis, the other part of it. Jay Lewis always been a very aggressive guy.
I like his tackling too. Huh? I like his tackling. Like it was one tackle that they did in the open field, and this guy made that tackle. I said, man, when you do things like that, that can be able to change games. Like he's one of the underrated guys, bro, that a lot of people, they don't really give him too much credit. You know, he's an older player, but he's one of those guys that they call Hip Pocket Lewis. I mean, he's a feisty guy. The main thing is just being able to stay healthy.
Right. And if you look, and I watched the podcast of Jonathan Hankins. He got a podcast, and he had D Law on there with him a couple of weeks ago. And they say Jay Lewis, they call him Little Big Man. And they say he's the one that does all the talking on the field. He's the guy that got the biggest voice of doing all the trash talking on the field. And as long as I've been watching the Cowboys, they see there's going to be unsung heroes. The James Washington. People forget about James Washington was one of the best players on the defense, but he wasn't a star when they won the championships in the 90s, but he was a star during playoff time. And Thomas Everett, guys of that nature that came up and made big plays. And Donovan Wilson, Jay Lou, and Malik Hooker. I'm saying this not because I'm saying they need to step up their play because they're playing bad. I need them to get to where I know they can be and be big-time players in this defense. Because if those three guys play like I know that they can play and be on point and aggressive, this defense can go to another level because the stars are going to do their thing.
Yeah, but I really don't think that I don't think that, you know, when you're thinking about Malik Hooker and his type of skill set, like, I mean, you know, he was definitely one of those sought after safeties in the very beginning of his career or when coming out of college. But he's one of the guys since he has not put himself in harm's way. Like, if you can have quiet games when it comes down to that free safety position, you don't really hear much from him. That means that he's actually going out there and doing his job.
Well, JC been hurt. He didn't play 2 weeks ago. Because he was dealing with an ankle, but he's been playing, and I went back and watched the tape of the Lions game, and what concerned me was, he's off the field a lot. They're and I'm not questioning Quinn, but when it gets down to this time of the year, I need the guys that can do multiple things and be playmakers, and I don't want to see Donovan Wilson or Malik Hooker off the field as much as I'm seeing them. I understand they're running 3 safeties. They're trying to rotate those 4 safeties in there. But if I got somebody on the roof, I want the guy to be on the roof is Malik Hooker.
So let me ask you a question then. So let me ask you a question then, because when you're thinking about guys like Dallas Goedert, when you're thinking about guys like George Kittle, when you're thinking about the boy from Detroit, the new boy Sam Laporta, there's a lot of athletic tight ends out there. So they're utilizing Javon Curse a lot within the box. How do you feel about him going up against these tight ends? Because now they're making these guys so much more athletic now.
Well, this is my question, and I'm not saying Curse. I'm not downgrading Curse. But if I'm going to go with if I got a safety that I want in the box, I'm more abreast to put Donovan Wilson on that guy, because now I'm more. If you decide to run the ball, I know Donovan Wilson can play like a linebacker and attack the football. I want him in a position where he can make plays, because I think what people don't understand, when you have a running play, the safety is never accounted for in the blocking scheme. They're what we call you send guys to pick them up to try to cut them off. Or that you're not comboing off to get to the safety.
To the safety, depending on how close they are to the line of scrimmage.
Right, and you still going to count if the safety's up there and you only got one linebacker. Yes, but when they walk up, that's a block that you're trying to get to. But they're quicker, so it's hard to combo to get to them because they're much faster and it's hard to get there.
Yeah,
but you can get Jay Lou to get back to being to that gangster guy that he was early last year when we were talking about being MVP.
Yeah.
I can get Donovan Wilson to be that guy. Not Jay Lou, but Donovan Wilson last year when we were talking about he should have been a Pro Bowler. If I can get that, what I started to see against Detroit, if I can get those two guys, him and Jay Lou, because that third cornerback is a run support guy. That's why Jay Lou has to tackle with. Those two guys to start making plays again, and to stay healthy in this run, and to be physical, that's going to take this defense
to the next step. Level. Yeah. Hey, shout out to my man Landlord. What's good, dog? What's going on, dog? That's my content creating partner. Make sure you guys tap in. Anybody that need to check out my live stream, the replay value, you guys make sure y'all tap in with Landlord. He be holding down on his side. That's my brother right there, man. Shout out to you. Yeah, man.
I want to say this right there, JC. Since Landlord is listening, on Landlord Boss and Henny show this morning, I put a question out to them when I watched the Lions game, and I said, why is Donovan Wilson and Hooker only playing 60% of the defensive snaps? And I think they didn't understand what I was saying. Those two guys are playmakers. If that means Curse has to come off the field a little bit, I got more confidence in in Hooker and Donovan Wilson making bigger plays than Curse. I feel better with Donovan Wilson in the box than I feel with Curse.
Yeah, that's my thing. I honestly do. But the thing is with me, I like Curse's skill set, but when teams are like scheming and having him open in space, going up against these running backs, I'm a little funny about that. But what he can be able to do on the field, roaming sideline to sideline and reading and diagnosing plays, that's when he's at his best. But going up against these tight ends, I'm a little funny about that. But when I see guys like Donovan Wilson and his type of skill set, not saying that he's like so much more better than him as far as coverage, but he's one of the guys that can be able to cover too, and he does have that. He does have some athletic ability. You know what I'm saying?
Though, JC, and listen, I'm not trying to kill Kurt, but I'm gonna ask you this question, and Landlord, hope he's listening to this. If I want somebody to run support in the box, who's better, Jay Lou or Kurtz? No, not Jay Lou. Kurtz or Donovan Wilson?
Oh, I'm going with Donald Wilson.
Okay.
I'm going Donald Wilson.
They're taking Malik Cooker out the game, and I'm watching in the film that they got Kurtz over the top, over the roof. If I got somebody over the roof, would I want Hooker or Kurtz?
Yeah, but listen, man, if they're talking about putting Kurtz over the roof, you're talking about the stuff.
He's over the roof. When you got Hooker out the game, you got Kurtz over the roof.
I ain't comfortable with that. I ain't comfortable. And I've seen it on all 22. I've been really like scheming on this all 22.
That's what I was saying.
Putting him over the roof. You putting him up out there, you're making him liable going up against slot receivers that's very slippery, that has spatial awareness. You do not want
no range back there. He's not a range. He's on the roof is over.
Yeah.
So if I'm going with packages, if my package is in there, when we get into the playoff time, I want to see the guys that I know that can make plays. Donovan Wilson can make plays. He can't make plays on the sideline. And Malik Hooker, if he's healthy, I feel better Malik Hooker on the roof than Kurtz on the roof. And if we're going to play a lot of guys, a safety in the box, I'm more comfortable with Donovan Wilson in the box because he showed that he can jack up linemen and get to the ball.
Yeah, see, my thing is with Donovan Wilson. I mean, he has the ability to be able to take the ball. He's an enforcer, just like my man landlord said. Like you want to any hit from him. I mean, he can be able to get the ball back to Dak Prescott more than a guy like Jaron Curse. And now I'm not saying Jaron Curse is a bad player. The
No,
better defenses, yes, you can be able to utilize him. You can utilize his talents, but you do not want to put this guy in harm's way. He is not the most athletic person. Like he kind of runs like a robot a little bit. Like he's the kind of guy like see ball, get ball. So if you can be able to continue to keep on having him reading, diagnosing plays, I think that it'll be fine. But you do not want these offenses going out there early on scheming up against him. If that happens, then bad things is going to happen on that defense, and that's when we run into problems. But just seeing Donovan Wilson and guys like Jordan Lewis, if you can be able to utilize them, you know what I'm saying, have them guys close or whatever, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge, bro. It's going to be huge.
you know, JC, at the end of the season, Donald Wilson was a free agent, and we was all talking, and the Cowboys made an effort right off the bat. He was the first guy that they signed, because Donald Wilson is the guy that can make plays in the running game. And as I said, when he came in the league, he was a ball magnet. Now he's starting to be a ball magnet again. He might be totally healthy now. It might have took him some time to get really healthy. But now I need the Donald. He can be a key to just run. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I need Donald now to play with his.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let's shift real quick, okay? Because I want to get your thoughts. I know we talked on the phone about this, but I want you to just put this on the JC Network too. I want to get your thoughts about the offensive line and how you feel about the tight ends being able to seal the edges, the offensive line being able to get to the second level, and just the overall what the running backs have been doing. Like, what's your thoughts? Because if we're going to be able to take that next step, Coach, we got to be able to run the ball. The chemistry got to be there. If it's not there and you make yourself predictable, that's when you run into so many problems against the better defenses. Once they figure you out, then that's when you run into problems. So just give me your thoughts when it comes down to this running game and what we can be able to do to take that next step in these playoffs.
Well, you know, JC, I've been I think a lot of the flack that Tony Pollard is getting, I heard the same thing last year with Ezekiel Elliott, and I think I think we want Tony Pollard. I think Tony Pollard has run the ball over 18 times in a game. I think 3 games this year. McCarthy used the same system with Tony Pollard. I think Tony Pollard averaged about 13 to 14 carries a game. That's just about where he was at with Zeke last year, and then we would have Rico get another 10 carries. That's important to our offense, because every time we run under 16 or 17 carries in our history, in the last 3 years, it's not been a good result. So, but the tight end blocking and the receiver blocking has to be, I want to. We talking about we want to run Tony Pollard outside. I challenge everybody to go out there and watch the film. You can't run outside if guys are not dedicated to block on the outside. I heard Law yesterday. Law said something about, he was talking about San Francisco don't run McCaffrey in the middle, they run him outside. If you watch the film of San Francisco, McCaffrey runs downhill outside.
He runs downhill, yeah.
Outside. If you watch any film on McCaffrey, if he has to outrun somebody to the outside, usually that play is dead. But he's running downhill. And the reason why he's running downhill, JC, is this. They just ask their mediocre offensive line to shield block, and they do double team combos with Kittles and their tight ends and their receivers. They block like linemen. They're not going out there to shield block you. Watch their film. They're going out there to hurt you.
And Coach, I like the way that Jake Ferguson blocks. One thing, like, you know, a lot of people didn't know how good of a blocker he is, but the all 22 that I've been running, I mean, sometimes he does miss his blocks. Making sure that he can be able to seal the edge is going to be very, very important. But when you do see the 49ers and stuff like that, I mean, those guys, they have tight ends to go in on that team just to block. They have that's just their job.
You got to take pride. You got to take pride. And I think people think about offensive line. The physicality. I said this on Twitter, and it's the truth. You won't hear it from a lot of people, but inside coaching circles and inside a team, they talk about this. Mm-hmm. How do you judge a physical offense? How do you judge a physical defense? They're not judged by the linemen. You rate a physical offense about how physical the receivers and tight ends are. Linemen gonna be physical, but how physical are the tight ends and the receivers are? Because San Francisco, we consider them a physical team. Their offensive line is mediocre. Nobody talks about nobody but other than Trent Williams. The rest of the guys, the problem will never make a Pro Bowl. But their tight ends, their receivers, Ayuk and Debo and the other guy and the two tight ends, they beat you up. The teams that they had problems with this year was Baltimore, Cleveland, teams that had physical defensive backs and linebackers, and they couldn't beat them up.
Mm-hmm. But you know, with the offensive line and defensive line, it start there first, though, Coach. It start there first. I mean, I understand with the wide receivers and the tight ends, yeah, but the scheme, because if the 49ers type of scheme,
I feel like you can have all the physical linemen you want. If your outside people are weak, I'm gonna shut your run down. Ain't but so much your offensive lineman gonna do. You can't run outside. Your offensive lineman ain't gonna get outside. You can't gain the corner. Let me tell you something.
Some wide receivers, some running backs can get to the outside. I mean, they play smash.
Out. I'm not saying that our players are not physical, but when we run on the outside, who we got blocking out there? We're gonna have a coach that's 5'9", 130 pounds, a CD Lamb that's a slender guy. We bring in the little the punch returner guy. We gonna have him go out there and get the edge.
See, but from what I'm seeing is it's not just the edges. From what I'm seeing, like when Tony Pollard gets the ball in his hand, defensive tackles, the edge. I mean, he has nowhere to run. Nowhere to run. That's why a lot of people they're saying that it's Tony Pollard.
If you what? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I have a problem with that, bro. Like if when you're getting the ball and you got defensive tackles, if you got defensive ends right in your face, it's not just the edges. It seems like these guys are not even getting. They can't get to the second level because they can't handle the guys at the defensive line.
Let's go back, JC. We watched Tony Pollard. Let's say the first carry he got in the Detroit game, he got minus 2 yards. Nobody got minus 2 yards. Because the cutoff block from Jake Ferguson, he didn't even touch the defensive end. Crossed his face.
Yeah.
Cut the back. Yeah. Once you sail the edge, the backside, the running back has no cutoff. Right? So I'm gonna tell you this. Look at how we stopped how we got two big hits in the backfield. When Detroit tried to run the ball, the first play, Marcus Lawrence got a big hit in the backfield. Then late in the game, Fowler got a big hit.
Fowler did the same thing. Nobody even touched him. Tackle went straight to the block. Yeah,
who missed the block?
I think that on that play, the tackle went straight to the second level. On that play, one of the plays, the left tackle went to the second level.
The quarter whipped on both of those blocks and got his running back killed. Backside.
That can get you somebody hurt too.
That's how important the tight ends and the receivers are cutting off backside. Big runs come when tight ends and receivers make blocks. If you get blocked from tight ends and receivers, and you can get past the line of scrimmage, that's when big runs come. We're not cleaning guys up. You're watching the games, JC. I want you do a lot of film study. Go back to any game. Watch when we do run the outside. Watch how we getting blown up, and guys to turn around looking.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely take a look at that. Yeah, man.
We get so focused on the link. We get so focused on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
we got to get, and I'm not saying we don't have the people. They have to be dedicated to doing it. One thing about a tight end, and I always say this about tight end, sometimes you got special tight ends and you got tight ends that want to be all world. There's a fine line when you have to keep their mind straight. Because once they start catching passes and people start talking about them touchdown passes, they start to say, hey, I'm getting judged by my touchdown passes. Yeah. If I whip on a couple of blocks, oh well.
Yeah.
But people like Kittles, Kelsey, Rump, they knew that they're going to get passes, but they will knock out blockers.
Yeah, but hey, listen, man, I like Jake, the way Jake Ferguson, he plays at the line of scrimmage. He's a very physical player. That's why, I mean, this guy, you can utilize this guy all 3 downs. I know they want to run a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of 13 personnel. Luke Schoonmaker, I mean, he could play a big part in this. I know, with this type of offense, it's a game of mismatches, so we'll see how it all plays out. But it's going to be good.
Another thing you got to do too, JC, I'm gonna tell you another thing that they're missing when the outside run game, and they took away from it last year a little bit because we moved that guy. But that third wide receiver, right? He's got to do a great job in blocking if you want to be able to run outside. And they're trying Tobert a lot more than they trying Gallup because Gallup, kind of was not. If Gallup want to make a name on this team, he's not catching. He got to be a top. If he's a top-notch blocker, you won't see Tobert.
Yeah.
You ain't seeing Gallup because Tobert blocking better than Gallup.
Yeah.
So if Gallup is not going, and I'll tell all the third wide receivers this. JC, me, you had to talk about third wide receivers. Listen, man, on an NFL team, the third wide receiver may get 45 catches in a year if he got 2 good number 1 and 2, right? And if he got a good tight end, he may get about 35, 40 catches. He's not going to be a star. He's not going to be a receiving star.
Yeah.
But if he's going to be on the team, he got to do some other things.
Yeah, definitely. So if you play that,
if I got number 1, I ain't going to tell number 1 to go down inside and to cut off a linebacker and to be like IU. See, IU could go inside and battle with a linebacker, right? You're a third wide receiver. I can't have you out there for some downs. You ain't catching 50 balls. And then when I run a play to the outside, your man getting up the field and hitting my running back in the backfield. You have no purpose for me.
Yep.
Give me a guy that's better blocker that's going to catch that middle, and can catch a ball here and there that's going to be an outstanding blocker.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Tyrone Church. He said Hines Ward was a beast. Yeah, he definitely was. I remember that. But hey, listen, man, it's definitely gonna be good. I can't wait to see how this game play out, man. I was telling them about the DMV, man. I'm from the DMV, and going up against the Washington Commanders, we can't look past this game. It's so much that we got to do, man. We have to be able to take that next step, regardless. Any team that we seeing right now. We know that they got Sam Howell and all the rest of those guys, but this is the NFL. You don't want to get caught up into that jam. Go out there and take that next step. Don't think about what all the 3 and 4 letter networks is talking about. I don't know about you, Coach Mar, but half the time I'm not even listening to those 3 and 4 letter networks because they try to.
It's no need to listen to them.
Yeah,
I got no. I said my thing about Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, and Jay Lou. Because I want that to get out to them because I know what they can do. But I want to say something else, but we getting disrespected.
They don't.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to tell you another guy's getting disrespected. And this is no shade to Dak Prescott. But if Tyreek Hill is in the MVP voting, why the hell ain't CD Lamb in the MVP voting?
I know, right? I know, right? Because this dude has really been taking that next step. Making a big difference.
Do we think CD Lamb ain't having an MVP type season?
Yeah. See, but I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy though, Coach. I'm when they start talking about the MVPs and stuff like that, and people saying Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, I'm not big when it comes down to like the MVPs and stuff. I mean, we know that this team is the most valuable team in sports. I'm not caught into that. We have a goal in mind. A lot of people, they're talking about Dak Prescott MVP. He should have it. Yeah, I don't.
That don't equate to winning. For Dallas, they never had an MVP quarterback. They only had one MVP in their history, and that's been Emmitt Smith. That's not, MVP. I really don't get it. I just said that by CD Lamb is because I think we talking about other players that's not quarterbacks, and I don't even see CD Lamb name up on that list because at this particular point in time, if he have a monster game or semi-monster game against Washington, he's gonna lead the league in yards when they were talking about other guys. So, like I said, man, why this guy's not talked about? At least being 6 or 7 on the list of MVP votes. But it's all about focusing and getting ready to make this run, JC.
That's the thing. I'm not
where we want to be at.
Yeah, I don't want to get into no MVP. I don't care if it's the Dak Prescott. I don't care if it's the CeeDee Lambs. Go out there and win. The time is now for us. Like I said earlier in this stream, there are no excuses for our Dallas Cowboys. You got so much talent out there. It's not just about the athletes. It's about the coaching scheme, what these guys are going to do, how they're going to utilize these guys. And the thing is, man, we might have some holes in certain areas, but that's why we, get guys like Jonathan Hankins. I feel good about him being there. Hopefully, Mozzie Smith can get up and get things going because that one technique is going to be critical. Being able to set the edge and just do the basic things, not playing hero ball. Micah Parsons, just if you can't make that play, allow other guys to make plays as well. You know what I mean? That's pretty much the staple when it comes down to Dan Quinn's type of scheme.
Hey, JC, if this guy comes and do what I think he can do, I'm not saying he's an all-pro, but if he does what I think he can do and what he flashed on Sunday, I want you to bookmark this show because we may be saying when we get in this, when we start seeing some big plays made, if he's totally healthy and locked in and want to take that mantle of being the enforcer again, the tone setter, if he comes to play and Jay Luke comes to play and I can get Cooker from being quiet now and now say I'm finna tap in and being ball magnets, these three, we're gonna talk about those guys at the end of this thing and saying, man, those guys. Now they might not get MVP because they're always gonna give it to the top guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna say, man, those three guys right there are balling. And
I see what you're saying though, because I really see what you're saying, and it's so good to hear that from you. The way that you're trying to dissect this whole thing, like you're picking those 3 players because the other 8 guys are going to step up. And if this team is going to take that next step, you got to have 11 guys out there. It got to be 11 guys. Yeah, it can't be just one guy in the Micah Parsons or DeMarcus Lawrence. It got to be a collective thing. If this is a championship team, it takes all 11 guys. And seeing Jordan Lewis, you see guys like Malik Hooker and Jaron Kearse. Any of those guys, even Jaron Kearse, any of those guys, it's just going to make us that much more better. But I think that now, man, we've been, getting far, 12-5 for a long, long time, losing in the most important games. But I think that this year's going to be different, though. For some reason, man, I feel good about it. And as long as these guys can just have that confidence going in, I think it's going to be a good run, man.
JC, I'm gonna let you go, but I tell players this, and I say that about these guys. But in the regular season, you make your game, you improve your game, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the time you make your name.
Yes, this is it.
This is the time you make your name.
This is it.
This is the time that even though the Cowboys, all eyes on the Cowboys are already.
Yep.
This is the time you make your name.
Yep.
And I think these guys that we mentioned today, they got DNA of doing big things. We have seen that. And they've been very quiet. They started to speak up a little bit. I was so happy to see Dono and J. Lou get up. I know Bland gonna do his thing. I know the other corner gonna Gilmore gonna do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
But these the guys that making the money. Dono done got paid. Hooker done got paid. Mm-hmm. They want to be in Dallas. Now it's the time where people not expecting for them to step up to be like we said they were last year.
Yeah,
start to play some real tight, big time ball.
There's two guys that's on my mind that's totally different from yours. I know that the Jordan Lewises, the Malik Hookers, I like to hear that. But the two guys that's on my mind that I think that if they can be able to take that next step once we get to these playoff games is guys like Sam Williams, because I'm a trenches guy. You know what I mean? Sam Williams and Dante Fowler. The things that Dante Fowler can be able to do, the things that Sam Williams can be able to do, if you can utilize Micah Parsons not only at that defensive end position, but at the linebacker position, switch it up, keep things open, have that NASCAR packages. Sometimes I saw DeMarcus Lawrence playing that defensive tackle position now. That's big time.
DeMarcus can play. DeMarcus, he is more now suited for a 3-tech guy. He's not gonna beat you off the edge, but he's gonna beat you with technique. And,
shout out to Has Life, that's one of my close friends, man. Shout out to him, man. Y'all make sure y'all 1 second. This my guy. I have not seen him in a while. Shout out to you, bro. If his TikTok, man, he's one of the big time fishermen. I go fishing with him all the time. He got about over 100,000 subscribers on TikTok. Much love. He always come in here and show us love, man. Shout out to you, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, you're right about Sam Williams. And it's going to be a collective of everybody that plays well. And listen, this is the time of the year. We see it every year. We see it every year in every team. We see it this time of the year when you get a playoff and the team start making a run. It be guys that step up, be like, wow, this guy's playing big time. And yes, they always going to, the media always going to promote the stars. But there'll be other guys that keep bouncing off the tape, keep bouncing off. It's like, man, they making plays. Yeah. So this is the time that you're going to see these other guys. They may not be a guy to make 100 plays, but they're going to make some big plays. And I'm looking for those guys. And you're right, Dante Fowler and Sam Williams, when they get the opportunity to make plays. Because see, one thing about this part of the year, you're not playing for the incentives in your contract no more. Playing time and sacks you get now to say, well, I get a bonus if I get them in. Once the year over with, all them incentives are done.
It's done. Yeah.
One thing you playing now is the advance, and you want that more playoff money to get more to advance. So everybody should be in unison now because it's about winning. That's all the things should be about now is win. Where it makes no difference what it is, who does it, why they do it, how they do it. Just win. The game.
It's the name of the game. Hey, shout out to
guys have been known as being big time players. It's time for them to be big time players.
Yes. Hey, shout out to my man Kenzie. He said, not gonna lie, I still like Gallup number 13. We signed him for a reason. You got to give it time. He came back from a big injury. Everyone always gonna have a bad year. Just wait until he fully recovers. I mean, hey, bro, I like Michael Gallup, but right now, man, we got to we have to put the best guy.
Listen, I ain't got nothing to do with block.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, coach.
Listen, he ain't got nothing to do with going out there and finishing every block.
Yeah,
that ain't got nothing to do to go out there and say, hey, when we got you out there, you know the Cowboys signed another guy. See, I know. See, you gotta read the tea leaves here. The Cowboys know that their receiver blocking is not to say they know they undersized out there. Even though this guy might not play, but they signing big wide receivers because they know that they're not physical enough on the outside out there. You're not gonna ask CeeDee Lamb to be a knockout blocker. That's what the other guy. And then you try to do it with your second guy, Brandon Cooks. We not gonna. So these other guys that come in the game, right? They got to do the dirty work. And one person used to do the dirty work for him. He did it for a long time. That was Noah Brown. Noah Brown was a dirty work guy.
He was doing a lot of dirty work.
He might have, but he was their best blocker. Noah
Yeah,
Brown
he
used to do
was.
the dirty work. But see, people don't talk about that. But when San Francisco kill us, I guarantee you go ask Dan Quinn and ask every defensive coordinator in the league what fears them. They don't care about their offensive guard. When Kittles and that other tight end go out there and double team the outside linebacker and start knocking out linebackers and McCaffrey runs downhill and you don't even touch him until he gets 10 yards down the field on the outside, that's why.
Yeah. But my my thoughts on like the whole Michael Gallup thing. I mean, it's been a couple years that going through that injury and stuff like that.
He is.
I always liked him as a player. He was always one of those big time possession receivers. He was a physical guy. But when you see guys like Brandon Cooks and what he has been doing, I want us to be able to utilize him early and often. I want that guy to be a big focal point of this playoffs because I know that with his athletic ability, what he can be able to do to be able to stretch the field and just have this defense thinking. I mean, I don't want to completely like remove Michael Gallup out of the offense. I mean, because those possession catches, they matter in those gritty type of games. Those
he getting less and less snaps, JC. Let me ask you
that's fine. No, but hold on one second. Wait, one second. Like with Gallup, I know he's getting more or less snaps, but you still want to utilize him because of his talent and what he can be able to do. Just get Brandon Cooks in there, but we know that Michael Gallup is there too as well.
And JC, I'm about to agree with you. Michael Gallup is it's gonna be a time where Michael Gallup is gonna make a circus catch. Because that's what he does. But Michael Gallup, his ceiling was 50-some catches, maybe 900 yards. That was his ceiling. He is what he is. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's never going to ascend to a number 2 type wide receiver. His skill set doesn't fit that. His route running doesn't fit that. Right?
Yeah.
He is a great third wide receiver. And what the Cowboys made a misjudgment on, it was not the knee injury. And this is not, and I don't want people to think I'm shooting Mike Gallup. They made an assessment thinking that he was going to expand his game. His game was going to get better. He wasn't at his ceiling. So they paid him like a number 2 wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But they knew at the end of the year that was a bad assessment on him, but they still going to utilize the talent that he has. He's going to make a play in this run for us, but we cannot say he's going to make consistent plays, but he will make a play.
Yeah. See, but the thing is, like, this is what it comes down to, guys. Like, who's going to make the play? Who's going to make the play, right? Whether it's the defense, whether if it's the offense, it's going to be good. And this is why we've talked about this stuff all throughout the offseason. This is the stuff that we built up, all the content creators, Coach Marv, everybody out there, man. No excuses for our Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be really, really good. Just seeing this game against Washington and see how everything play out, man, if we can get that number 2 seed in the playoffs. Yep. But, man, hey, this was good. This was definitely good. And we're going to probably tap in either Friday or on Saturday, you know what I'm saying? So just let me know what's good, you know what I'm saying? And we'll
JC, man, I appreciate you, man. You're doing great work. I know we talked about you might need to do that film on Toilet Pilot and watch those things, man. And let people see. Go back a couple of games, and when we do our outside, everybody want to run Tony Pollard outside, but he's a very good inside runner if you allow him to get going. I want to say something right quick. Tony Pollard, they talk about Tony Pollard, but he ranking almost last in the NFL with yards before contact. That means he's getting contacted before any other running back in the league.
Yeah.
If we ask him, listen, we ain't talking about yards after contact. He's getting less yards before contact. So that means he's getting contacted before any other back in the league, and he's in the top 10 after contact. So he's got to work harder to get what he's getting.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you need to do that. But JC, like I said, you do a great job. But people out in the chat, if y'all could send that message I said for Donald, J. Lou, and Malik Hooker, get them a name. Find them a name, 3 Musketeers or whatever. Get them focused on what I know they can do. I want them to be the playmakers that they have always been in their career while they got to Dallas, while we decided to pick them up, and what they have been doing in their careers. And I need them to, they started last week, but I still need them to continue to make plays and be physical like they've been being physical.
Yeah, facts.
Luke JC, appreciate it, brother.
Hey, shout out to Patrice. Hey, hit me up on Twitter. I think we follow each other on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter. We'll chop it up. But thank y'all so much. Hey, we'll be back for another one. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. Gone.